What's up guys, I'm J-Man, and today let's talk about a film that in my opinion is one of the most underrated sequels, Terminator Salvation. The film received a poor reception when it was released and also had many problems with its production, including Christian Bale's infamous rant and several script rewrites. These issues led to many complaints about the film's plot that people still complain about to this day. Well, I'm here to talk about these issues that people have and completely debunk all of these claims. Kind of. Yeah, you see, as much as I enjoy this movie, even I will admit that it is still pretty flawed in the writing department. So, some of these answers are going to be semi-guesses and theories about the film's plot. So without further ado, let's get started. Beginning with... how did Skynet know that Kyle Reese was John's father and want him captured? Now this is obviously just a theory since it's not actually clarified in the film. Perhaps they didn't know that Kyle was John's father per se, but they did somehow know that he was at least important to John Connor. And any villain in any movie knows that the best way to make your enemy do what you want is to find something that they want and use it as leverage. Now it's not clear either how they could have known that Kyle was important to John, but a good guess would be Sarah Connor's recorded sessions at the psych ward in T2. It's possible she might have spoken about Kyle and the future of Skynet, etc., which Skynet could have possibly gotten wind of. How did Skynet know that Marcus would be able to locate Kyle Reese? So there's a couple theories to this. The first is that it was just dumb luck that he just happened to stumble upon Kyle Reese. At the beginning, during the raid, Marcus was one of the bodies that they see in the compound. Then the place was blown up, and Marcus miraculously was reborn and happened upon Kyle Reese. When they were attacked by those little flyer drones, that was when Skynet confirmed that Marcus, their infiltration unit, was alive and has found Kyle Reese, in which they sent their harvester to kidnap Kyle and carry out the rest of their plan. The second is that maybe Skynet had intel on Kyle Reese's possible location, but they just didn't know for sure. So they controlled Marcus subconsciously towards Kyle's possible location. At the end, we do see Marcus rip out his mind chip that connects him to Skynet.
Welcome home, Marcus. We knew you'd be back. After all, it was programmed in you.
Why did the Terminator start shooting at Marcus when he's a Terminator himself? The robot that shoots at Marcus is a T-600, which is an older model and possibly didn't receive the proper upgrades to know that Marcus was part Terminator. Also, it's possible that Skynet thought Marcus was obliterated from the explosion, so it could have just thought, shoot at anything that looks human. Or it might have just been his jacket that he was wearing with the symbol on it that stands for the Resistance, so maybe the machine got the wrong idea and started shooting anyway. How did Skynet know that Marcus would be able to infiltrate the Resistance base? During the airfight, you can actually notice the HK destroy one plane but only damage the other, long enough for the pilot to escape so that Marcus could meet up with them and lead him right back to the Resistance. Why didn't Skynet just have Marcus kill John Connor when he spotted him? Why bother luring him back to Skynet? First of all, remember that Skynet wasn't just concerned about killing John Connor, but also the entire Resistance. Thus is the reason they created that fake signal that supposedly disables the machines. The reason they didn't have him kill John Connor immediately is because then they would be given away. The Resistance would know that Skynet is aware of their location and they would destroy Marcus and just pack up and leave, causing Skynet to start all over again with tracking their location. And even then, the Resistance would be extremely wary of anyone entering the base. They literally only had one shot at accomplishing their objective. You see, Skynet in this movie is all about giving the Resistance false hope, only to lead them straight into the jaws of the Predator.
We have destroyed ourselves. Skynet tracked our signal. We led them straight to us.
How do they know that Marcus would be discovered as a Terminator and that he would be the key to entering Skynet? Because Skynet knows that the Resistance is not stupid? They must have known that they would have some kind of protection around their base, particularly with landmines that are magnetic. Also, they do have riverbots practically patrolling the place, and John pretty much owed Marcus his trust after saving his life, even if he had no other choice. Why did Skynet keep human prisoners? This is actually explained at the beginning of the movie. They were taking human captives for experimentation for human flesh for the new T-800. Also, Kyle in the first movie explains it a little bit too.
Most of us were rounded up, put in camps for orderly disposal. Some of us were kept alive to work, loading bodies.
Why does the new T-800 destroy the other Terminator? Remember when Kyle shoved that tool into the Terminator's head? That move caused the machine's targeting system to be damaged, causing it to fire wildly all over the place, which would have been a danger to the T-800.
Their motor cortex is partially exposed at the back of their neck. A knife to this area will disorient their tracking device, but not for long.
And plus, the point of Skynet in this movie is that it's constantly upgrading itself and becoming more intelligent. And it obviously has no problem with destroying its own machines for an intended purpose.
The machines are advancing even faster than I told you they would. I've seen it with my own eyes. They were inventing new Terminators, new ways of killing us. Skynet is planning something big, but the Resistance is planning something bigger.
So those are all the answers that I have about Terminator Salvation. And what do you guys think of this movie? Whatever it is, don't be shy, leave a reply. Also be sure to follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and please support me on Patreon. And of course, if you like this video, you can like, comment, and subscribe to the J-Man. Keep looking deep.